What is good, everybody, man? Welcome back into the Bluebloods as we continue our FCS player spotlight for the 2023 season. We are joined by the best tight end in the country, in my opinion, my guy, Marshel Martin, Sacramento State tight end. This guy has achieved it all, man. A three-time All Big Sky selection, Hero Sports freshman and sophomore All American, and it's a three-time FCS All American. Is going to be a consensus preseason All American going into 2023, man. Marshall, man, appreciate you hopping on the show.
Thank you for having me on here.
Your journey has been so interesting. Coming out of high school, you were named the Male Athlete of the Year. You were playing running back, running for over 1,600 yards as a senior. What was your recruiting process like coming out of high school?
I'll say it was kind of hard coming from Vallejo, small city. Then I went to a Catholic school, so it was hard getting out like recruitment wise. So it was a struggle. So I had to basically get it out the mud. Had to put my tape up, let my talent show what I can do. In Sacramento State, they found me and believed in what I can do, and I just kept it with them.
You have an interesting story behind it where you were initially supposed to gray shirt your first season and you got the call a little bit for the season, man. They wanted you to come to campus and get and start working with the team immediately. You redshirted that first year and then you go on to be a freshman All-American. What was that journey like from where you weren't even going to really be on campus? You were going to gray shirt, you redshirt, and then you explode onto the scene.
Yeah, so that plays in the key of where I turned into a tight end. So they told me I was gray shirting right after after football season. So during that whole time, I'm playing basketball. Then after basketball, I got kind of big. So got up to the Sac State when they told me like I want to say beginning of summer, they was like you're gonna gray shirt. Then at the end of summer when I finished my classes, they was like yeah you're coming up for fall camp. So it was like 3 days before I got that call, and I was overweight. I wasn't really thinking on getting ready because I knew I was going to gray shirt in half time. So basically got here, I was like 250 and I was playing running back. So I was still able to move how I was, like it was still me, but it was just a bigger version of me. And like coming into it, it was different for sure. Then it was a practice where I made a good play. They was like, yeah, you can block, so we're gonna put you towards tight end. And still knowing me, I know like I can get the ball. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna make plays happen. So as long as I can get the ball, it's not really a difference, just different position.
Yeah, so I mean that's where I was gonna go with it. I mean, like, what are the for you looking back now with some hindsight, what are some similarities that helped you transition to tight end? And I guess what was also your biggest learning experience shifting positions?
Learning experience, I'll say, it's just being more handsy. Like I'm more handsy in my position, dealing with bigger guys and moving around with secondary. Got to use my hands a lot. And I'll say wasn't really doing that in the backfield, catching the ball like that. I catch some passes, but now I got it more handsy. So that'll be a difference. That'll be one thing I'm working on. Yeah.
You set the single season record for touchdown receptions by a tight end in your first season. You have all this momentum, and then COVID hits, and a lot of the Big Sky teams did not play any games that year. How difficult was it for you to explode onto the scene, finally get your shot, and then not even be able to play the next year?
Um, Honestly, I just stayed level headed. It was difficult not being able to play that season, watching everybody else, but I just made sure I stayed level headed, stick with my abilities and me, and was able to be ready for the next season when it's my time to shine.
You guys come back. Of course, I mean, the run of Big Sky championships at Sac State was amazing, but this year you guys seem to really turn it up to that next level. Made a deep playoff run again. When you look at all the different playoff runs, what's your biggest learning experience in terms of what it's going to take to get to Frisco, which I know is your ultimate goal?
I'll say it starts with your players of how connected your players are, because that's how far you'll get is where your players will take you. The coaches play a big hand, but they do a lot of stuff. But the players is going to have to do everything, play the part, and make plays and stuff. So that's where I feel like it's a team thing where we have to come into.
Coach Taylor, of course, got the opportunity over at Stanford. Decided to take that, man. I know he's going to do great things out there. How difficult was the coaching change for you personally this off season?
Honestly, it wasn't really difficult at all to me. We kept it more in house, so it's like a family over here. So we're able to keep the guys rolling and add more. It's just none too different. It's nothing too different.
I got to talk to Coach Thompson earlier this all season. That's my god, man. I love
Yeah,
talking to him, and he's such a cool guy to get to know and talk to.
yeah.
What is he like behind the scenes now that he's taken over as the head coach of this team?
Behind the scenes, he's a great guy. Great guy. He's like a father figure for sure. He got 3 kids and plus 100 of us, so he got a lot of kids to take care of. He's a real great guy on the field and off the field. I really like him. Appreciate him.
I know, that there were some guys who looked to transfer, but your positional coach got to stay, which I know played a huge part in you staying at Sac State. Coach Jeremy Lapman, man, his track record speaks for itself. I think send multiple tight ends to play professionally, regardless whether it's NFL, CFL, etc. What is your relationship like with him, and how much do you credit him for your development as a tight end?
A lot. I appreciate Coach Lapman, and for me, it's about loyalty. So he was able to stick through all the crazy stuff, and he was able to stay and show that he cares about what he does, and show me. Yeah, so he's a big part of what I do. So,
When you look just this offseason, you guys have a lot of new quarterbacks in the building, in the room. What has
mhm.
it been like this offseason building chemistry with with a new, I guess, set of quarterbacks?
Just getting some work in off the field or outside with the timing of what we're supposed to do as a team. So just getting a lot of extra work with them, coming into the facility and running through plays and just quiz and stuff like that. Because I have a good knowledge of the playbook, so I'm able to help them guys and teach them little things we can do on the field and off the field. So good relationship with them.
Man, this is one of my favorite questions coming up, man. But I want you to compare true freshman Marshel Martin to the guy I'm talking to now. What's the single biggest developmental change you've seen in your game over these seasons?
Uh, I'm hungry, honestly. Freshman year was hungry, but this year I'm hungry for sure. I'm coming for it, yes, sir.
Man, I love that, man. I can see it. I can just hear it in your voice, man. So that leads me to this next question perfectly. Your goals. When I look at your career, you have the conference championships, you have the All American honors, you have school records, all conference honors. What are you looking to accomplish your last season here at Sac State?
Honestly, I want to do as best as I can, help my team get as far as we can, hopefully get a national championship. But at the end of the day, I just want to make my mom smile, and let her know I put my heart and all to it and everything.
Man, I love that. And looking just at your game, man, you were like, listen, you were ranked number one by PFF, Hero Sports. You see all the lists coming out. What's one thing though you personally wanted to improve on going into this season?
Uh, honestly, my run after catch. I want to not be able to get tackled after. I want to try to stay on my feet and score a lot more and get yards and stuff. Show them that I can do a lot with the ball in my hands.
When you look at just Sac State, you guys have sent multiple players to the league. Last year, Marte got drafted by the Patriots. I got to catch up with him at the Senior Bowl, and he talked about how he wanted to set the new standard at Sac State with guys going to the NFL. For you, have you talked to any scouts, gotten any feedback on your game in terms of what they're looking from you this upcoming season?
Yeah, honestly, they love the way I play and how hard I work and my effort to the game. They just want to see me a little bigger. That's it.
That's fair, man. Because for you, when you look at your projections, do you want to stay in a true tight end role, or are you open to switching to a more of a wide receiver look in the NFL?
I'm open to anything that gives me a spot and able to play in the league. I'll make sure get that right.
Man, love it, man. Shifting to some quick hitters, man, to get to know you. When you look at your game, whether it's current or former NFL players, man, who do you feel like your game models the most?
Models the most. I say like Marshawn Lynch.
I like that, man. You might be the first player to pick someone from a different position. I love the like outside the box thinking on that
Yeah.
one. Looking at your career though, what was your welcome to college moment on the field?
Uh, welcome to college. I'll say my freshman year when I the first game I got in and I only played one play. That was my welcome to college. Like, you have to get better and let these coaches know you can be able to play. And that play, yeah, that told me, yeah, you're in college. You're not just going to get a role and automatically the best player. So I have to show my coaches and prove to them that I can do what I can do.
I think that's the biggest adjustment. I mean, you just look at because you think about your game. It's like, man, I was the state player of the year. I was all county, all this. It's like, but everyone on this roster was that at their high school. So it's
Yeah,
like you got to take it to the next level. Man, I like
yeah.
that. When you look at your game, man, or how big of a trash talker are you in between those white lines on game day?
Uh, in the game, I talk a little trash. I talk a little trash. You're gonna hear me a little bit, but I like to keep it football, good plays and stuff. Like I'd say some good stuff about them, but there will be some trash talk for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, what like wide receivers, tight ends, DBs, man, you guys on this show always go back and forth. It's like, man, if someone says something to me, I gotta respond. Like I just can't
Yeah,
let them
for
talk
sure.
to me
For
crazy.
sure. Yeah.
One on one, man. You versus a DB, it's one on one man coverage. What's the number one mistake they can make against you?
Trying to put hands on me and standing still, trying to put hands on me and let me come to you. That's a bad mistake because I'll run right past you or just push you out my way.
Oh, but I like it. But when you look at your career over all the games that you played, is there one or two games that are most memorable to you right now?
I'll say this last game that we played in the playoffs against the Cardinal Word, that was a big one in Richmond. Those two, I'll say those two last playoff games.
I don't think I'll ever forget that UIW Sac State game, and because I was at William and Mary, Montana State, covering that playoff game, and we were in the press box after Montana State won, and I'm talking about you guys had the Big Sky like commissioners and like people from the office were in there with us, and I mean you guys had people pacing, they were screaming
Yeah,
at the TV like fans. I will never forget that game
yeah.
when you just to give some credit, man, to the other side of the ball. Who are one or two of the best defensive players you've ever got to face one?
Uh, 2019, it was a linebacker from Austin P, number 10. He was. I don't remember his name, but he was a great linebacker for sure. Great linebacker. And another one, I say. I mean, honestly, that's the only one I say. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
So I can't give too much credit. We'll throw him out.
Can't get
Just
too much. Yeah, can't get too much.
well, the final two questions have to do with the upcoming draft, man. I have you as one of the top prospects coming out of the FCS this year for the NFL draft. When you hear that, when you get the feedback, when you look at your potential to hear your name called, what would it mean to you to hear your name called in the 2024 NFL draft?
Honestly, I mean everything, because that's what my whole life been working for. All the school, all the training, all the work has been for that moment to hear my name. Be happy for a good moment for me and my family to enjoy it and stuff. So yes, that would be a great moment for me.
And the final question, man, if an NFL franchise comes to you and asks what they're going to get in Marshall Martin, if they select you in the upcoming NFL draft, what do you tell them?
You got the golden ticket. Got you a golden ticket.
Man, that is the most sweet, short to the point answer I think I've gotten to that question, man. I like it. Just if you draft me, just know you got one. And I love the energy there, man. I'm hoping you, the same as Marte, man, get to come down to the Senior Bowl, man. I live in Mobile, so I get to cover that event every year. So hoping to get to see you down there after the season, man. But this is all about player promotion. And man, I appreciate you hopping on the show. Let people know where they can follow your journey on social media, contact you for NILs or anything else, man.
Yeah, my Instagram is Shellybo underscore is two underscores. You can get to my Twitter, Shellybo4. And yeah, you can reach out to me in those and I'll reach out back to you. I appreciate you for having me on here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Guys, make sure to go follow Marshall on all social media, man. The one of the best tight ends in the country, in my opinion, the best regardless of level. But guys, for Marshall, for myself, and for the Blue Bloods, man, we are out for right now.